Now in the final part of our presentation, there's one last tool that I want to introduce that can help with a lot of specific large assembly design visualization challenges that you may have. The product is called Navisworks, and it's great at handling whole project or complete project design reviews. What I mean by that is, it's great for when you have design review or design visualization needs that go far beyond just focusing on the mechanical aspect of a design or just the equipment layout part of a design, but when you need to really evaluate the entire factory or facility or plant layout to get a better understanding of how all these different facets or industries of information are going to come together. Navisworks makes it extremely easy to navigate through these large assemblies. And then it also has the very familiar markup tools that are going to allow you to inspect with different stakeholders and get key answers to questions that you may have, which normally would have been incredibly difficult to understand. Because Navisworks is able to bring together all of these different data sets in a very easy and very simplified format. Inside Navisworks, we have the opportunity to really merge or append, aggregate all sorts of different information regardless of where the product came from. We have the opportunity to start with, let's say, some cement groundwork or some civil work that would have formed the basis for this particular facility layout. We have the opportunity to use all of our existing inventor models with ease if we wanted to see what a lot of the equipment and a lot of the mechanical aspect designs may be to this complete project. We also have the opportunity to add all sorts of piping or plant design products or files to this particular design. So again, it's not specific to just mechanical or manufacturing type needs here. The whole project reviews that you can conduct with Navisworks just go beyond a single product and allow you to aggregate all sorts of information together that normally you may not have been able to do. It's not very often where an architect is designing their part of a project and they know in real time, let's say, what the impact of their design choices are to the mechanical layout, but Navisworks gives you the opportunity to review that information. So now that we've been able to bring together a number of different data sets, we can better understand exactly how Navisworks is going to make it really easy for us to really walk through and better understand the design. The real-time walkthrough tools that exist inside of Navisworks give you that opportunity to add, different levels of interactivity or realism that you need so that you can make sure that you're getting a better understanding of your facility layout or of your factory layout far beyond just the inventor or just the mechanical aspect of the design. It's going to understand where different architectural elements reside and how they mesh with different, let's say, manufacturing type elements. It's going to understand collision as well so that you can truly interact with it and get a good understanding of where these forklifts may need to operate or where different pieces of equipment are going to lay themselves out. The way that you can use the markup functions then are very similar to any sort of design review product that Autodesk has. You're going to be able to use different measurement tools here if you wanted to inspect what a key distance may be from a certain point to another point. It's going to call out that information and you can make decisions where you're combining mechanical aspects with general arrangement aspects, right, and having those intelligent reviews with those key stakeholders. So then from there, you can make a decision. Is that clearance perhaps appropriate enough? Or do we need to add a comment here that says we should remove one bay from each of these storage racks to make sure that we have enough forklift clearance in these runways that they have for them to operate? Right? We can conduct those where normally perhaps the facility layout never would have been combined with a storage layout for us to understand what the impact of this whole design project is coming together. We also have the opportunity to do different interference or clash detections, which again, if these designs were only kept within their separate products, you would never have an opportunity to ask those questions. How do these come together for sake of completeness to understand if there's any clashes or issues that we may see during installation or perhaps during operation? So the clash detection tools here allow us to choose different sets of information and determine different types of clearances where we can visually see in our results here where different clashes may exist. I wanted to see if we had any issue with the piping design that's been presented and the general building layout that's been presented. And I can see that there are all sorts of different information here that's being called out for us to investigate farther. There's a lot of collisions that are happening between different overhead pipework and some of the partitions or walls that are inside of our facility. All right, so this report then can give us very valuable feedback and help us make decisions. It looks like perhaps we may be using a wrong file, or we may have some drastic changes that need to be made. And so because Navisworks is allowing us to have those very large design visualization reviews, then we can identify an issue up front, and we can make those changes very quickly while they're still being focused from a digital model perspective. So in this case, I'm going to remove that particular piping design, and I'm going to replace it with an alternate one that may give us better results for our facility. And then all I can do is very simply rerun that same test again between those two components. And we'll be able to quickly see in our results how many issues have automatically resolved themselves because of the fact that we're using a better design versus some issues that perhaps still need to be identified or still need to be worked on farther. Right? So we can make better choices about these large-scale design projects by managing the information effectively and using Navisworks to very quickly and easily bring these large data sets together so that you don't need an overpowering computer or an overpowering setup just in order to inspect these large design needs here. Lastly is remember that because we're using a vaulted solution here, you have that same integration just like I demonstrated a moment ago inside of Inventor. So people can be managing the change, they can be updating as needed, others are getting feedback as to what the current state is or if someone's making a change to it. So you have an opportunity to access all of this different information at your fingertips, leveraging not only Inventor as a great design tool for offering you different large assembly techniques as well as functions, but some of those additional productivity tools like Vault and Navisworks to help you manage the information and make sure that you are delivering on your large projects correctly.